Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kara and I am on a mission to find health. For me personally, that incorporates a few things. One is living an active lifestyle. Two is forming lifelong healthy habits, especially around nutrition. And the third is losing some weight in the process. If you're not familiar, if you're new to the channel, in August of 2019, I underwent gastric bypass surgery and I've now lost 100 pounds in that process. I had lost about 120 pounds, but I have regained some of that weight. So I do have a video on that, which I will link up here and in the description box down below, so you can check that out if you haven't already seen it. Before we get too far into the video though, I do want to just be very clear that I am not a healthcare expert of any sort. I have no training in it whatsoever. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I have no expertise. I am just a person who was formerly morbidly obese, who underwent a surgery, lost a lot of weight, and am now living in that post-surgery reality where the honeymoon stage is over. And now the work is on me. I have this tool at my disposal of having had this surgery, but it's my game to win or lose. And frankly, if I'm being perfectly honest, in the last few months, I really have felt like I've been losing in the sense that I've been gaining. Does that make sense? I'm probably going to confuse myself with this, but you know, I just want to share the highs and the lows with you, and I just want to be completely open and honest about it, because I think that there are a lot of people out there who share the same struggles, and I just want people to know that you're not alone and you're not a failure. If you happen to regain some weight after any form of weight loss, it doesn't mean that you're a failure, and it doesn't mean that that's your destiny. And so I guess I'm just trying to like lead by example, if you will, but all that to say that it is still very much a mind game for myself even. So just know that if you're struggling with those kind of thoughts, you're absolutely not alone. So I just wanted to put that out there. So with that preamble, let's take a look at the update. Now I do want to say that I have not taken any updated pictures, mainly because I just didn't feel like doing it today. I'd already like taken my shower and gotten dressed, and then I didn't want to get undressed and put on the same, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't want to do it. So I didn't do any updated pictures. Regardless, there's really not much like physical progress to see. So let's take a look at the metrics. So my starting weight I took on April 15th. At that time, I weighed 217.8 pounds. And now, as I weighed in today on May 1st, I'm at 217.4 pounds. So an overall change in 2 weeks of just 0.4 pounds. That, frankly, is disappointing. I wanted it to be more, but it's progress. So I gotta take the win where I can get it. But there are some other metrics that I use, right? So I've said this before, the scale is just one source of information, and honestly, it's probably not even the most important one, but it is the one that we usually turn to because it's the one that, for whatever reason, we've been ingrained to continue looking at. So there we have it. I am down less than half a pound in 2 weeks. However, if we look at the measurements, we do see a little bit of change there as well. So back on April 15th, my hips measured in at 48 inches. They're now coming in at 47. My bust was 46.5. It still remained the same. And my waist was 43.5 inches, and now it's 43. So while it hasn't been a significant amount of change, there is still some change, and I will take every half inch that I can get, absolutely, because my clothes are starting to fit a little bit snugly and I don't feel comfortable with that at all. So every half inch is a victory in my eyes. So not only has the weight gone down a little bit, we've also seen the measurements shrink. But where my true success lies in the last 2 weeks is the activity. And that's what I want to focus on, because that brings me so much more joy than the 0.4 pounds or the lost inches or any of that kind of stuff, because the activity, it's hard work, damn it. Like it truly is getting yourself up, getting yourself changed, getting out there to do whatever it is you're going to do. Go for a walk, go for a bike ride, go for a run, whatever it is. It takes effort to do it. And so I am damn proud of the fact that I have been doing it. So I have completed at least 6 runs since I did my last update. And so I have now completed week 3, day 2 of my 8-week 5K training program, and I'm very happy about that. Let me tell you, I ran this morning. I did not want to. My husband and I went to the Avril Lavigne concert last night, which was kind of a trip and a half. Like, it was a mixed crowd of like 20-year-olds and like 40-year-olds, but it was so fun. She put on a fantastic show. It was great, but it didn't start until like 10 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit earlier than that, but we didn't get into bed until about 2:30 in the morning. Waking up at 8 this morning and going running was not exactly my idea of a great time, but I did it because I wanted to be consistent. It wasn't that I felt motivated to do it. It really was just a matter of me saying, you want to run every other day. You have a race coming up in July. Do the groundwork. You know you're going to be proud of yourself when you're done. You know you're going to feel good when you've done it. Just go do it. So I did, and it was hard. It's chilly out today, and there was like quite the headwind, and running directly into that headwind, very difficult, but I did it. So the intervals that I'm at right now, it was like run for a minute and a half, walk for a minute and a half, run for 2.5 minutes, walk for 2.5 minutes, and then repeat it again. So I've got that under my belt, and I feel really good about it because I can see, my max heart rate is starting to come down, whereas even on like week 1 of the training program, my max heart rate would be like 178. It's now 170, and I'm just feeling so much stronger. Being able to run 2.5 minutes, while it doesn't sound like much, when I started on week 1 doing like 30-second intervals, that was hard, and now I can do the 2.5, and 30 seconds is like nothing. So what I'm trying to do with myself with the running, not only staying consistent, but I'm trying to get out of my head on it, because the race that I have coming up, I'm just going to continue calling it a race, although I don't view it as a race. Like, I'm not out there to race. Like, if I can maybe be not last, that would be fantastic, but like, the bar's pretty low. I just want to finish it. I know I can, but I just want to finish it. So anyways, that was a weird sidebar, but the whole point is I have this race coming up, so I want to be consistent in the running, and I've completely lost the point of what it was that I was saying. What in the hell was I saying? Sorry, I completely lost my own point, but what I was saying is that race is 5K, and I know that the first K of it is like uphill, like significant incline. Not going to be fun. And so as I'm running and I'm getting like winded at like the 2-minute mark, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, this is hard. How in the hell am I ever going to do 5K again? I have to just like nip it in the bud and just remind myself that the only run that matters is this one that I'm on, because the whole point of this 8-week training program is to work up to that. I can't go out there right now and run 40 minutes. I can't do it, but I will be able to. And that's all that really matters. So I'm trying to like reprogram myself to stop with the negative self-talk, because it's just defeatist and it's not helpful. And I just get in my own way, because as I'm doing these minor runs and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get up. So why even bother is the logical follow-up, that little voice in the back of the head that's like, isn't it just so much easier to sit on the couch? Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. But does that help me on my overall journey to find health? No, not at all. And so when I do these runs, it's more so about that sense of pride and that sense of accomplishment that I get at the end of it. I really enjoy like looking at the stats, looking at the heart rate and all of that kind of thing. And I've also signed up with something called the Conqueror challenge. And so what that is, it's like an online community, if you will, and they have different challenges, different goals that you can sign up for, and you pay for participation. I can't remember. I think it's about $35 per challenge, and you can have as many going on at the same time as you want. But the one that I've signed up for right now is in support of the people of Ukraine. So every penny that I put towards the actual cost of that challenge is going to fundraise. But the nice thing about it is that it's basically geographical in nature. So they have all these different challenges, as I said, but some of them are the Grand Canyon. There's ones for New Zealand. There's Ukraine. There's a whole bunch of them. And they are all of varying different lengths, and you get to set your own time trial for it. So with this one for Ukraine, I think it's 53 kilometers in total. If it's not 53, it's 58. I just can't remember exactly which one it is. But regardless, that's the total length of the challenge to be run over however many days you set it for. So initially I set it for 70 days. That's what I've still got it in there as, but because I've been consistent with my running, I am currently like 10 kilometers ahead of pace. So I will likely finish that in significantly less time than the 70 days. And it's just exciting because along this journey, if you will, like they have it brought up as a little map so you can see where exactly you are in relation to others, in relation to where you started. And as you hit certain milestones, then you get what's called like a postcard, and it'll show you like a picture of an historic building along that route or a certain area of that route and give you a bunch of information on it. So I'm also learning a lot about Ukraine and about a lot of their culture and their landmark buildings as well. So it's just a really interesting sort of win-win. It really does help to like build that motivation because, you know, you might only have like 7 kilometers until you get your next postcard. So you want to do like 2 runs in order to get that, or however long your runs are, you know what I mean? But it's just a little source of motivation. And I also feel good about the fact that it was a fundraiser. With the other ones that are non-fundraisers, at the end, once you've completed it, you get like a really sort of significant medal for it. Like they mail it out to you, and it's quite weighty. They're actually really nice looking, very artistic as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll link the Conqueror Challenge website in the description box in case you're interested. It's not specific to running, so if you like to go on walks, if you're a cyclist, if you like swimming, anything that is covering any sort of distance, you can make it work for these challenges. So I will leave that information down below. I'm also going to include a referral link both for my American friends as well as my Canadian friends to a website called My Protein. I had discovered them in the early stages of recovery after gastric bypass surgery, especially when I got really sick of protein shakes because I don't like protein shakes. They're like cloyingly sweet, even if they don't have sugar in them. I don't like them. I don't like the thickness of them. I like mixing them in with protein coffee, but on their own, I don't like them. My Protein came in clutch. They've got like protein lemonade and various other drink mixes which don't taste chalky, don't leave a weird chemical aftertaste, and they still have, I think it's like 20 grams of protein per serving. Perfect. So I will leave those referral links down below. Now, I was not really aware that they also sold clothes until I was snooping around on their website the other day because I wanted to get some of their salted caramel protein powder, which, by the way, delicious. Anyways, I ordered a pair of their leggings. They're so comfortable. They are so comfortable. And if you use the link that I'm going to put down below, then you save either 30 or 40%. I'm not entirely sure. The Canadian website says 40, the American website says 30. The Canadian one says that for every referral that spends over $40, I get $35 as a credit on their site. The American says I get $25 if they spend 30. I don't really care, but I'm just going to leave it down there because they have so many different options. They have sports bras, they've got socks, they've got track pants, they've got the leggings, which are just fantastic. They're so comfortable, and they also offer really good sales. So I'm just going to leave that information in case anybody's in the market for that. So the highs for the last couple of weeks for me have been really becoming more consistent with the running side of things, and it just makes me feel good about myself. I don't particularly love running while I'm in the thick of it, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I love what it does for my body, and I love how accomplished I feel at the end of it. The lows for the last couple of weeks haven't really been to do with like the weight side of things. The snug clothes, not a great feeling, not at all. There's just been a lot of extraneous stress in my life in the last couple of weeks, and I really don't want to get into like the nitty-gritty of it because it's still evolving and it's still rather personal and we haven't told everybody, but there's some stuff going on at my office. It's nothing to do with Barry and I. We are totally rock solid. We are totally fine, but there's some stuff going on at my office. I own my own business with a partner. Things are going to be changing there, and it kind of flipped my world upside down, and it became like that was just all I could see. It was just this big sort of question mark and big ball of like, what the fuck in front of me. And that was all that I could face and all I could really focus on. So that is starting to the dust is starting to settle. That is good, but it really threw me for a loop. So that kind of spun into some other not so great behaviors of comforting myself in not the most productive ways, but it also did help to fuel some of my runs as well and getting some aggressions out that way. So there's, you gotta find the silver linings where you can, but those have been my highs and lows. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What have been some of your highs? What have been some of your lows? All of that kind of thing. And so I just want to wrap the video up with my goals for the next couple of weeks. So one, I want to force myself, if necessary, to take my multivitamin on a daily basis. I take my other meds on a daily basis without fail. There's absolutely no reason why I can't take a bloody vitamin every day. So I'm just gonna put the two bottles beside each other, and then I really have no excuse. That is going to be how I force myself into that habit. And I want to also complete another 6 runs. That'll take me to the end of week 5, which also includes not only a 5-minute running interval, but also an 8-minute running interval. So again, going back to that idea of getting out of my head, when I'm thinking, but 2.5 was really challenging, how am I going to do 8? I've done 8 in the past. I know I can get there, and I know that every run in between today's run and that one that includes the 8-minute intervals is just going to help me build up to that. So hopefully when I sit down here to do my next update, I can say to you that I successfully ran the 8-minute intervals. So with all of that, I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel grow. And if you haven't subscribed, I ask that you consider doing so. But with all of that, I will see you in my next video. And just remember, yes, you can.